Good evening, everyone. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful Monday so far. And I got a good one for you today. It's question period, and it's the first one since Freeland stepped down today. So that was an exciting one, now wasn't it? Anyways, so if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And this is a snippet of the live stream we did earlier today. So with no further ado, let's get into it.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister has lost control, but he is clinging to power. We knew that he had lost control of the borders, of immigration, of spending, of inflation, of the cost of housing, but now he has lost control of his cabinet. The Vice Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance has stepped down, and she stepped down hours before presenting Canada's fall economic statement with an enormous deficit. When will we have an election?
L'honorable leader du gouvernement à la Chambre des communes.
Merci, monsieur.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our government is looking forward to presenting the economic statement this afternoon, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank the member for University Rosedale for everything that she has done for this country and everything that she will continue to do for this country. Her accomplishments make quite a long list, and her place in history is assured, and we are very proud of everything that she has done for this government.
You shouldn't be proud for what she's done to the government, for your government, for Canada, because she has utterly failed. The only thing good she's done is she stepped down. She wasn't pulled down. But that's only because Trudeau didn't, follow her quote-unquote advice.
L'honorable chef de l'opposition.
The Prime, yet he clings to power. He's lost control of immigration, lost control of the borders, lost control of spending, deficits, inflation, housing costs. In fact, his former, apparently, finance minister was trying to get spending under control by capping the deficit at an already crazy $40 billion. But he took carbon tax Carney's advice and pushed her beyond that guardrail and was trying to throw her off the cliff. She's now resigned minutes before presenting her fall economic update. This cannot go on. When will we have a carbon tax election?
Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, our government looks forward to presenting the fall economic statement later this afternoon. But I would also like to take this opportunity to extend my gratitude for all that the member from University Rosedale has accomplished for this country and will continue to do for this country. She has played an integral role in this government. First of all, standing up for Canada and defending NAFTA, bringing forward universal childcare, and the incredible work that she has done in defending Ukraine. We are very grateful for all that she's contributed to this government and to Canada. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, they were so excited that both Chrystia Freeland, the finance minister, and our industrial minister stepped down so they wouldn't have to tell Canadians, hey, we just spent $62 billion. Yep. How good are we doing on our finances?
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
For the finance minister. Who are you?
And there's the golden question right there.
The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, at a time when Canadians are struggling, we are happy to bring forward measures that are going to assist them. Things like the GST tax cut that took place starting this past Saturday, going until February 15th. And while the Conservative leader and the members of his caucus stay focused on us, we're going to stay focused on helping.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, it was a serious question. Who is the finance minister? After the finance minister's resignation this morning, automatically the industry minister became Minister of Finance. And congratulations. But he immediately quit. After him, in the line of precedence, it was the two Randys. Well, they don't want it. So now we don't have a finance minister just a couple of minutes before the fall economic statement will be presented. So where's the minister?
The Honourable Leader of the Government.
The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I said, our government is looking forward to presenting the fall economic statement later this afternoon. There are important measures in that update, measures that are important for Canadians. It's time for the Leader of the Conservatives to recognize that while he's focused on us, we are focused on Canadians.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, just to underline the chaos we're faced with here, the finance minister resigned the day she was to present the fall budget, which was going to contain a massive deficit overrun. The job then went automatically to the industry minister, who immediately resigned, like on the spot, which then went down the line, and the next person in order was the famous two Randys. And they're not available to do the job either. We're now less than 2 hours away from the fall economic update. Why won't the Prime Minister have the courage to come in here, present it himself, and put it for a confidence vote tonight?
Yeah, because committee already has the two Randys, well, their eyes on the two Randys, so they can't do it. I'll have to look up who is the next finance minister, because, like you said, nobody knows. This is chaos. And Trudeau might step down because of this, or at least prorogue Parliament. And hopefully he does.
I would like to remind all members, as I did during statements today, for members to be careful not to refer to other sitting members by their names, but to use their titles or to use their writing names. The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, Mr. Speaker, while the Leader of the Opposition continues to play politics in this place, we look forward to presenting the fall economic statement later this afternoon that will have a series of important measures for Canadians. Things that are going to help them with the affordability challenges, that are going to put Canada, Canadian jobs, and the Canadian economy first. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I would like to ask the honourable member from St. Albert, Edmonton, to please not take the floor when he is not recognized by the speaker.
So I just did a little bit of digging, and it seems like Trudeau might name LeBlanc the next Canadian finance minister. So that'll be interesting. We all thought it was going to be Mark Carney. He was just going to name him finance minister, and then I don't know what would happen. We wouldn't have somebody sitting for that role in Parliament because he's not a minister. So it might not be, but I'll tell you if things change.
The Honourable Member for La Prairie. We already knew that between 20 and 40 Liberal MPs no longer had confidence in the Prime Minister. We also knew that 8 ministers would be jumping ship. Today, the Minister of Finance decided to step down instead of presenting the fall economic statement. She wrote, black and white, that she disagrees with the Prime Minister on the best path forward for Canada. So she has also taken away her confidence in the Prime Minister. We are watching this government, this Liberal government, fall apart, and it's pretty ugly to see. Will the Prime Minister call an election? The Honourable Government House Leader. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I would like to thank my colleague for his question. As I mentioned, as a government, we are looking forward to presenting the fall economic statement later this afternoon. There are important measures in there for Canadians when it comes to affordability in particular, and we are exclusively focused on Canadians, and we will continue to protect Canadian economy and Canadian jobs.
Unless I blacked out for a second, he didn't ask anything about the fall economic statement. He asked if Trudeau was going to step down. I heard nothing about the economic statement. So, but it's just like the Liberals to, not answer the question.
The Honourable Member for La Prairie. The Deputy Prime Minister has quit because of the Liberals' electoral handouts. She said that Canadians know when we're working for them and when we're focused on ourselves. Mr. Speaker, people can see through their political games. Quebecers don't want these political handouts. Businesses don't want them. Even the Finance Minister doesn't want them. The only person who wants these is the NDP leader and the Prime Minister of Canada. Will they finally stop sabotaging Canada's economy for, so they can buy votes? The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And once again, I would like to thank my colleague for his question. Cutting the GST on essentials for Canadians is something that's important for many Canadians. And I've heard from many people in my riding who have said that this is something that is important for them. Restaurants, small and medium-sized businesses say that this is something that's important for them, and we are proud of having put that motion forward.
The Honourable...
Yeah, though the only things that were really essential in those essentials were diapers, and that's about it, because essentials are like groceries. So everything fresh, all fresh vegetables and meats, they don't have the tax on them. So I guess you could say everything packaged and stuff like that, then that wouldn't have the GST on it, so that would help. But even so, I mean, that for Albertans, that's 5% right there and then for I think in Ontario it's like including the HST, it's 13%, and I mean in Ontario they're not getting back that HST, so what are they going to do? Because those provinces, I mean, they rely on their provincial sales tax and the HST.
Member from Burnaby South.
People can't afford their groceries. People can't find a home to call their own. And the Conservatives are laughing.
They're laughing because it's hypocritical.
Order.
Jake Mead right there.
The Honourable Member from Burnaby South from the top, please.
Canadians literally cannot afford the groceries they need. They can't afford to find a home to call their own. And now Trump, buddies of the Conservatives, MAGA Conservatives love this guy, Trump is threatening hundreds of thousands of jobs in Canada. And the Prime Minister is more focused on himself, on infighting. The Prime Minister cannot remain in that position. Will he resign?
Why are you asking that now, Jagmeet? You had so many chances to do a vote of no confidence after you ripped up that agreement. Why are you waiting now to ask if Trudeau will resign? Oh, because it doesn't cost you anything. I mean, you're probably hoping he doesn't resign because, I mean, then your pension will be in trouble because you're definitely not getting elected in your riding. I've seen those numbers, and that's going to be rough.
The Honourable Minister for Innovation.
Mr. Speaker, this is not the time for slogan. This is not the time for partisanship. This is not a time to make jokes, Mr. Speaker. This is about rallying for Canadians. This is a time where Canadians need to know that this House and all the members are standing behind them, that we're going to invest in Canadians, that we're going to invest in this country, that we're going to invest in our workers, and that we're going to invest in our industry, Mr. Speaker, and that we're going to prepare Canada to be the best prepared to be able to deal with our U.S. friends. Mr. Speaker, this is a time where we show that we are all Canadians.
Just like when they invested into SDTC and, all that money went to their friends. But or invested into the housing fund, and who knows where that money's going to.
The Honourable Member for Burnaby South.
So I'll ask again in French. Les gens de la misère.
People are having a very hard time paying for groceries. Young people can't find affordable housing. And beyond that, we have the threat of Trump's tariffs. And that's putting hundreds of thousands of jobs in Canada in danger. And instead of dealing with issues that are important for Canadians, the Prime Minister is dealing with fighting in his own party. It's clear that the Prime Minister cannot continue. Will he resign today, yes or no? The Honourable Minister of Innovation. Mr. Speaker, as I said, this isn't a time for jokes. This isn't a time for partisanship. It's certainly not a time for conservative slogans, Mr. Speaker. It's time, Mr. Speaker, to work together as parliamentarians to defend Canada, to invest in Canada, to defend our workers, to invest in our industry. And, Mr. Speaker, I call on all members of this House to do their civic duty to work for the good of Canada so that we can face the incoming American administration. Mr. Speaker, today we are all Canadians. Let's work together.
I find it rich how they talk about defending our workers when I think 3 unions now and 3 strikes now, they've enacted their back to work legislation. I think it was the CN rail workers, now the postal workers, and it was something before that, I can't remember, where they ordered them back to work, and that's supposed to be protecting your Canadian workers. Hypocrite. But I can't stand any more of the NDP, so let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think that the Liberals are doing a good job right now? Do you think they're not doing a good job? Do you think that Trudeau should probably, give up his seat as PM and call an election? Let me know in the comments down below, and have a good night.